Hi, my name is Michelle, and for those of you who know me as a producer of sports radio play-by-play. What you may not know is that I'm also a certified yoga teacher here in the city of Los Angeles. And right now, as we're under a Safe at Home initiative, I figured it would be a great time to bring to you some yoga basics. In my travels as a producer, many of you have come up to me and asked me for private lessons or for ways to learn basic yoga. I know it can be intimidating walking into a classroom for the first time and not knowing what to expect or what the teacher is going to ask of you. So I'm here today to help you break it down. By no means is this an all-encompassing lesson. The history of yoga is far too great and vast for me to do that. So I'm going to give you little pieces of information that can arm you to proceed with your yoga journey when you're ready. So let's get started. First things first. The word yoga literally means to yoke or combined. So for our practices today, we're going to talk about combining mind, body, and breath under the umbrella of movement. The type of yoga that I teach is called Vinyasa. The word Vinyasa literally means to place in a special way. You may also see it online in other places as flow yoga or breath to movement. There are two basic components to Vinyasa yoga, breath and movement. We'll start with the movement part first. An asana is just a posture. It's a way a teacher is going to ask you to position your body. Breath, or pranayama, is a way that we breathe. There are two major types of breath when we're moving in Vinyasa flow, besides your normal everyday breath. The first breath is a very grounding breath. It's an inhale through your nose and an open mouth exhale. You do this in the beginning of class when you're trying to ground down, during postures that may need a little bit more calming effects, and any time that you feel overwhelmed. Ujjayi breath is the other breath that we practice. And that's a little bit different. For this breath, you breathe in through your nose. And out your nose, exhale. Make this an audible breath. You should be able to feel it on the back of your throat. This breath typically warms the body up on the inside. And you'll be normally using this when you're going through flow. Now I'm going to take you through a bunch of different postures or asanas that you may see within a yoga practice. Again, by no means is this all-encompassing. And teachers tend to throw in different postures where they see fit. I hope this serves as a great guide for you. So let's get started. First posture that you may see typically is child's pose. Child's pose is a great way to ground down after a long, busy day. You can do this whether you're in class or at home. To start, get centered on your mat. Bring your toes together and touch behind you. And then take your knees as wide as you can towards the edge of your mat. Engage your belly in, and as you're ready, start to walk your hands forward onto your mat. Stretch your spine long, and when you're ready, release your shoulder or your head down to your mat. Lengthen your arms and then relax your shoulders down. Actively try and press your heels closer to your glutes. Allow your belly to drop. A teacher in a class may hold this for 1 to 2 minutes. While you're in this posture, remember to take even inhales and exhales. So an inhale for 4 counts in. Breathe. 2, 3, 4. And then exhale, 2, 3, 4. If you're doing this on your own, try and hold it between 8 and 16 cycles of breath. If this posture is a little bit too difficult in the beginning and your hips aren't as open, a variation would be to bring your feet or your knees together and then slowly walk your hands forward. Round your chest over your thighs and drop your head down. You can also bring your hands behind you. As you breathe in, really fill your belly up, allow your body to expand. And as you breathe out, sink a little bit deeper into this. Let's move on. From child's pose, tabletop is the general position that we'd start next. Stack your shoulder over your wrist, and then stack your hips over your knees. Engage your core to pull your belly in. And then look straight out just over the tip of your mat. Avoid bending your head down or looking up. Activate your arms so your elbows tend to go out to the side. Rotate them in. That means your biceps or your elbow, the part that bends, will face in front of you. Lengthen through your spine by engaging your core. This is tabletop pose. Moving on from here, cat-cow is a great way to warm up your spine. For cow pose, drop your belly, take a breath in. Lift your tailbone up, and then lift your chest up. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Allow your belly to drop down while keeping your gaze forward. Breathe while you're doing this. Cat pose is a transition from here. And on cat pose, press into your hands, draw your belly up and in, round your spine. Really press the mat away from you, and then keep your shoulders stacked over your wrists. This allows the spine to open up, and you'll see this in what they call moving breath to movement. So inhale, drop your belly, lift up. And then exhale, cat, curve your spine, round in. Try this on your own. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. If you'd like to add in other movements or variations, you can rotate your belly. Barrel roll your chest. Rock your hips side to side. Whatever feels good in your body at the time. From tabletop pose, keep your core engaged. Let's move on to downward facing dog. For downward facing dog, tuck your toes underneath you, and then send your hips up and back. Press the mat away. Avoid bringing your shoulders and your ears close to each other. Relax them down and away. Your heels may not touch the ground, and that's okay. Energetically try and get them there. And know that sometimes they won't touch. Keep your core nice and engaged. Really press into your mat, and then actively try and press your chest closer towards your thighs. Keep your head nice and loose. Nod yes. Shake no. And then this may be a little bit tight in your hamstrings, so go ahead and pedal your legs. Keep your core engaged the entire time. If you need to, bend your knees a little bit to allow your hips to go up a little bit more. Or you can also walk your feet in just a little bit. Make sure you keep pressing the mat away. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. That's downward facing dog in a nutshell. Let's move on. Take your gaze forward in between your hands, and then walk your feet hips width distance apart behind your hands. Take a generous bend in your knees and relax your spine down. This is called ragdoll pose. Allow your chest and neck to be heavy. You can grab for opposite elbows. You can let your hands dangle. Sway side to side. This helps release the low back and also opens up through the hamstrings. Again, shake your head. Keep your core active and engaged to protect your low back. When you're ready, release your hands down to your mat. Bring your feet together, touch. And then slowly with your core engaged, roll up to standing. Once you reach the top, bring your hands to heart center. This is what we call standing at attention or Namaste to heat. Root down through your feet. Start to activate your legs. Use your quadriceps to pull your kneecaps up. We'll engage our core here, so draw your belly button to your spine. Lengthen your spine up, relax your shoulders down. This is standing at attention, equal at all sides. Again, from the side, pull your shin back to stack your ears over your shoulders. Keep your core active and engaged. Generally speaking, this is where a teacher asks you to set an intention for class. She may suggest a word or a phrase or a theme for her class today. Or you may have a person or a thing that you want to dedicate your practice to. Anything goes in this part, and so get creative. Let's start with what they call Sun A. For Sun A, release your hands down to your mat. This is called mountain pose. Relax your shoulders down, keep your core engaged. Activate through your fingers, so spread them wide. pull your chin back, lengthen through your spine. Now inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Hold and continue to breathe here. Again, keep your core active and engaged. Avoid shrugging your shoulders up to your ears, so settle them down and away. Keep your core turned in. Many times we see this. And try and correct that. Relax your shoulders down. Keep everything nice and engaged here. Take a breath in. On your exhale, forward fold. So bring your hands through heart center. And release your head and neck at the bottom. I'll show you that from the side. From your arms lifted up, take a breath in. On your exhale, forward fold. Keep your core engaged. Release your head and neck down at the bottom. Once you're down at the bottom, go ahead and cha-cha your legs. Again, opening up through the hamstrings. Next up, halfway lift. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring your hands to your shins or your thighs. You want to keep your back nice and flat. Keep your core engaged. Take your gaze forward and down. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Pull your belly up in. Exhale, high plank. Plant your hands, step your feet back, top of a push-up. High plank just means activating your arms and your legs, pressing back through your heels, drawing your belly up in it. Avoid sagging and avoid sending your hips too high up. Try and keep your hips and shoulders in line. Squeeze your belly up in it. We'll take what we call chaturanga. Chaturanga is literally just the yoga way of doing a push-up. So for your chaturanga, shift forward. On your exhale, bend your elbows up to 90 degrees. Squeeze them in. Then press into your hands, flip your toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. Press your hands down, pull your shoulders away. Keep your knees lifted off of the mat and send your hips forward and down. Keep your gaze looking straight forward. Take a breath in here. On your exhale, downward facing dog. Send your hips up and back. I realize that not everyone has the strength right away to do a full chaturanga push-up. So let's go over a modification. From your high plank. Again, shoulders stacked over your wrists. Keep your belly in. On your inhale, shift forward. Then drop down onto your knees. Exhale, bend your elbows. Inhale, press up, lift your knees back up. Keep gazing forward. And then on your exhale, downward facing dog. The last variation of chaturanga is to skip it altogether and not do it. Let me show you what that looks like in real time. From our standing position. From here. Inhale, mountain pose, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, draw your belly in. Exhale, chaturanga, plant your hands, step your feet back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, bend your elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. That's what we call sun A. You normally would do that within class 3 to 4 times, depending on the teacher. Or if you're practicing by yourself, you can do that for as many times as you like. Shall we move on? So our sun A is used to get the body moving forward and backwards, hinging at the hips. Sun B, which we'll learn next, gets the body moving side to side. Let's start with a simple position called chair pose. For chair pose, you can start with your feet hips width apart. If you're more comfortable, with your feet together. Bend your knees, send your hips back, and reach your arms up. It's important here to engage your core. Oftentimes, we see a little bit of a hollow back or an arch here. This will cause a lot of low strain on your back. So draw your belly in, lengthen your spine. Reach your arms up. Again, a modification for this is to move your feet about hips width distance apart. Sit back and down and keep your abs in. Look straight ahead. Try and keep your spine nice and long. Activate through your arms, but relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Now try and put the weight into your heels, maybe even lifting up your toes. This will activate your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes, and your core. Hold this for 3 to 5 breaths. When ready, take a breath in. On your exhale, Begin your forward fold like we learned before. Inhale, halfway lift. Again, draw your belly up and in. And then exhale, high plank to chaturanga. Plant your hands, step your feet back. Go through your chaturanga, bend your elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Here's where things start to get different. For our purposes, inhale, raise your right leg up. Flex your toes a lot. Point your toes down towards the mat so you keep your hips in line. Remember to pull your shoulders away from your ears. Keep your head nice and low. Lengthen through the back of your leg. Now take a breath in. On your exhale, step your hands or your foot in between your hands to a low lunge. Spin your back heel down onto the mat. Keep the bend in your front knee. Inhale, warrior two. This is your warrior two pose. Notice the alignment of my knees stacked over my ankle. Keep your core lined up. Relax your shoulders down. Now extend your arms straight out. Actively draw your inner arch towards your heel. Squeeze them together. Now turn your belly on by pulling it up and in. Take your gaze over your front fingertips. Roll your shoulders together and down your back. Sink deeper into the posture as long as you keep your knee over your ankle. Some modifications. Again, come up on the bend in your knee. Hold and breathe here. If you start to shake, that's okay. That means the posture is working. Now take a breath in. On your exhale, we'll reach for extended side angle. Flip your palms, reach your torso all the way forward. And then drop your bottom arm down and your top arm up. Take your gaze up to the ceiling or down towards your mat. Other variations include bringing your elbow onto your thigh. Actively trying to rotate your ribs up towards the ceiling. Keep driving this back hip forward and down towards your ankle. Keep your core turned on and rotating your ribs up. Hold this and breathe here. Your Ujjayi breath will be helpful here. Moving on from this posture, keep the bend in this front knee. Inhale, reverse warrior. Reach your front arm up and back, like you're high-fiving the back of the room. Drop your front shoulder down, square your shoulders towards me. Keep driving this back hip forward and down. Create a nice stretch through the side body. You should feel this through your obliques. Hold and breathe here. Remember to keep the breath in and the bend in your front leg. One more breath in. On your exhale, we'll go back to chaturanga. Circle your arms down. Step your foot back. Then shift forward. Lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Come onto your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in this position. Breathe in. Breathe out. That would be a Sunday. I'm going to show it to you, breath to movement. Again, you'll take this at your own pace, and you'll do it side to side on both legs. Let's begin. From downward facing dog, breath to movement. Inhale, take your gaze forward. Exhale, travel. Bring your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Draw your belly in. Exhale, fold. Let that go. Inhale, chair pose. Sit your hips down. Reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Bring your hands through heart center. Release your head and neck at the bottom. Inhale, halfway lift. Draw your belly in. Exhale, chaturanga. Plant your hands. Step your feet back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, bend your elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg up. Exhale, low lunge. Step it between your hands. Spin your back heel down. Keep your knee bent. Inhale, warrior two. Open up. Exhale, extended side angle reach. Inhale, reverse warrior. Lengthen up and back. Exhale, chaturanga. Circle your arms down. Go through your flip. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, bend. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. One more like that. And then you do the other side. You do that 2 times through, side to side. And then you'll be through with your sun beat. How do we feel? Let's move on. So there's a simple sun A or sun B for you to practice. Make sure whatever you do on one side, you also do on the other side. It's important to keep the body balanced and equal. My next video that I'm going to shoot is a combination of both sun A and sun B in real-time flow. I hope you join me for the next video. In the meantime, come back to this video as often as you need to start to freshen up. This by no means is a full and complete tutorial of things that you'll see in yoga classes. Teachers will add and subtract things as they see fit, and they'll get into some more advanced stuff as you progress. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.